let me recreate the open to this movie. Rawr, rawr. Oh. Hello everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out this video where I am going to be talking about Cocaine Cougar, written and directed by Dustin Ferguson, a Black Cougar who escapes an animal testing facility high on cocaine and causes chaos on Los Angeles. Just to interrupt this video very quickly, if you aren't aware by now, I do have a Patreon. You can buy my book, shop merch, and so much extra stuff. Request movies via PayPal. With Patreon, memberships do only start from £1 per month. You get so much access to so much early stuff, including reviews that you'll not see here onto the channel. Access to polls, competitions, goodies, giveaways, and all that good stuff. I do want to give a special thank you to all those people who do support my Patreon. Absolute legends. Love them all. Really appreciate the support. And you can join today by clicking the link down below. Now, let's get back to the video. Yeah, guys, this is absolutely not going to be a structured, normal review as I normally put out whatsoever. This is going to be off the cuff as always, but in a different style routine. Cocaine Cougar. Right. So before we get into things, I've seen Cocaine Bear, which is definitely, it was a fun time for what it was. I then got an early screening to check out Cocaine Shark. That was utterly terrible, but at least it had a few things in there with like the bad effects and a couple of moments where I generally really laughed out loud. Cocaine Cougar has so many bad things. I generally don't have any positives. I guess if I had one positive is like some of the effects and kills are so bad it did generally get like a laugh out of me, but there's no good cinematography, there's no good acting. I know this is a mockbuster, I know that this is not to be taken seriously, it's meant to be dumb fun, it's meant to just be capitalized off the kind of cocaine movie trend that we're seeing at the moment. I completely get that, but the issue is, okay, let me start out like this, right? So when I sat down and watched this movie, the first minute and a half or so is literally the intro you guys saw with scenic shots and a noise of a cougar, okay? Then it cuts to some absolute metal music, which by the way, the music sound editor here absolutely loves metal. Definitely went onto like some kind of like free music, which we'll get into, and just literally grabbed any metal song they could find and shoved it in here, which again we'll get to. Okay, but then kind of we get into a kind of 4 minutes of just opening titles and like people's names and who's involved in the production and all that kind of stuff, right? So the movie gets kind of going into our first actual scene at around 6 minutes, right? So of course, as it goes by, we get the movie blah blah blah. Then at the 40-minute mark, we then get credits of all the cast and everything involved, and those credits go on for 10 minutes. So the actuality of this movie goes on for 34 minutes. I mean, I don't know who came up with this idea, but they did. So let's kind of have a little bit of a play-by-play of how this goes. Here's just a couple of moments for you guys, right? Just to explain how bad this movie is. So firstly, we get introduced to about maybe 6 or 7 different characters here, right? And bear in mind, as I mentioned, this is a 34-minute runtime. Okay, so try and squeeze 6-7 character arcs in that time. It's going to be pretty tough to do so. We get a couple who's at a fairground eventually. We get a random man and his wife who is like, he's cooking some dinner and yeah, I don't know. But anyway, we get like so many different arcs of like random ass people. There's one on-screen kill here, and there's 12 off-screen kills. As I mentioned, this is going to be spoilers, so if you don't want to hear, get out of here and come back once you've checked out the movie. So the on-screen kill that we get, you guys can see, this is an absolute mess. It honestly looks like a PS3 game where they couldn't afford the full graphics, or it's like kind of glitched out. Then what really made me laugh, right, is the movie shifts focus onto a couple. And this couple that it shifts the focus to, random as hell, no introduction to them like whatsoever. They aren't seen in the earlier part of the movie at all, and all of a sudden we're getting to their story. This does kind of flash to like different times and points of in the day when they keep, when after there's every kill there's like a news bulletin being like, oh yeah, another kill from this cocaine cougar, right? Dumb. And then this couple, I am not kidding you guys, has at least about a 6-minute montage of them at a fairground. And I was like, why are we getting a montage about 6 minutes long here of these two people in a fairground right now? Then what made me really laugh is if you actually check out my boy's channel, Q Reviews, awesome guy as well, the music that's used in this fairground as the background music is Q Reviews' intro. And I know he uses a free music software. I like asked him about that, and I told him and I showed him the element of that movie, because this is free to check out on Amazon Prime. And I was like, bro, that's your intro. That's like the intro we all hear. If you watch Q Reviews' videos, that is his intro. Then there's some more metal music. Of course, we can't have Cocaine Cougar without some metal music, right? This cougar absolutely loves metal. Hey, get him at Download Festival, man. That cougar will have the time of its life there. So, anyway, this couple, okay, they have this romantic date at this fairground. Then the man and the woman, he gives her a kiss and says, oh, you know, get home safe, everything will be fine, let me know when you're home. Then we get a long stretched out portion of her on a walk home, and I'm like, right, so why are we following all the way home? And I'm not kidding, guys, it tries to show like this kind of creepy element of her walking through like some kind of woods. And this walk, I was like, man, this woman's on a hike. Does she not drive? I mean, this hike's taking like 20 minutes just to maybe get like quarter of a mile. Like, that's what it felt like watching the stretch. And then whenever the cougar attacks, whenever it's going to kill someone, the screen has a red effect on the screen. And then of course the cougar now he sounds, and then we get our kill. So she is kaput and she is bye-bye. So then as we follow this along, we get some more deaths. Now, one of the next shots is one of the funniest shots I've ever seen. It literally looks like an intro to like a Grand Theft Auto, or kind of like some kind of like open world game. This cougar is on the middle of a highway, right? And then in the background, while it's walking with its fake ass CG, you've got this just car horns going off, going beep beep beep, of course, like a car horn does, but there's absolutely no cars in sight. Then we get a random cut to a guy who's on the phone, and bear in mind this shot is of him in an alleyway, right, or in like some kind of back street, and he's like, that's no cocaine bear, that's a cocaine cougar. And then this guy gets it. But what the funniest thing is they cut to a completely different screen whatsoever. It's not even in the alleyway whatsoever. It looks like bathroom tiles, and then all of a sudden there's some fake ass blood CG just splattered on the wall. And I was just like, oh. And kind of to wrap this movie up, guys, I'm not going to go much further. I'm not going to waste your guys' time. This was absolutely shocking. This does not even deserve to be in the category of mockbuster. This was just flat out awful. It was flat as a fart. It was watching paint dry on the wall. Instead of watching Cocaine Cougar, buy a bag of rice and maybe count the grains of rice. You'll have a funner time than this. Anyway, my score for Cocaine Cougar is a half a star out of 5. Have you put yourself through hell and watched Cocaine Cougar? Are you going to? Let me know down below in the comment section so we can continue discussion down there. If you've enjoyed this video, certainly give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button down below. And until next time, I'll see you guys. I'll be seeing you later.